Hi, guys. I hope everybody's hanging in there. I know that it's been a couple weeks now. This is going to be our second lesson of distance learning. Last week, for the lesson, we talked about alcohol prevention, and today we're going to continue to talk about alcohol prevention. But before we get started, I read all the assessments that you did, and I have another one for this week on Google Forms, just, kind of wondering how you're doing, what you're doing during this time, and, how you're feeling really about this situation. And I'll tell you, I'm doing really good. A lot of you said, we're concerned about myself and the girls, and we're doing good. They're definitely getting on each other's nerves, but that's normal. I'm sure if you have siblings, that's happening. And they miss school. And I know that some of you said that you miss school and you miss the interaction, and and teachers, we do miss it too. So you're not alone. Hang in there. Hopefully it's only going to be a couple more weeks. Okay. So what you're going to have to do for today's lesson, just follow along with me. I'm going to talk about the slideshow as we go through it, because this stuff is really serious about alcohol prevention and staying safe, especially if you've gone to a party or you're going to go to a party and there's alcohol there. You really have to be careful, because you may not be drinking, but someone else could be drinking, or maybe there's something that was slipped into your soda. So you want to make sure that you are practicing safe skills. And if you do go to a party, which you shouldn't, because if you're underage, that's illegal, because again, you have to be 21 to drink and buy alcohol legally. Also, after that, after you do the Google form first, watch the slideshow or go through the slideshow. If you want, again, that's fine. I'll put up another copy. Then I'm going to put up another video of myself and my daughters. We're using the Fatal Vision goggles. Now, these Fatal Vision goggles make somebody see that they're drunk, not feel drunk, but see that they're drunk. And we did this thing where I had them put the goggles on and they try to catch this foam star that I have. And it's really hard even to pick it up when it falls down. So think about it. If somebody's drinking alcohol and tries to get in a car and drink and drive, it's really, really serious thing. Even though, it's funny when we put these goggles on, like if I put them on, you can tell they look so funny. It's like my eye is that way, but it makes you really see, like if somebody has been drinking. So they're a 0.17 to 0.20, which for me, my weight, and again, it depends on a lot of different things. Like last week we learned not just on weight, but gender as well. I'm a female, so of course I'm going to have more alcohol in the bloodstream. And then if any medication also person is using too, that can affect alcohol. So without anything involved except for weight, it's about 5.5 drinks. And again, usually a person is binge drinking large amounts of alcohol in a short amount of time. Okay, so we're going to go through the slideshow. I want you to follow along if you could. That would be great. Okay. All right. Okay, so here's just the presentation, and it says at the end of the lesson, make sure you do the exit ticket. All right, some learning targets. You're going to learn today: 2 ways to stay alcohol-free, and make sure you watch the video at the end of the lesson. Do the ticket out Google form and submit it. So make sure you're doing that. And I'm going to plug in my computer because it's going to die, so that's okay. All right, binge drinking. So most teens are binge drinking. That is where someone is drinking large amounts of alcohol in a short amount of time. And that is the most dangerous, because if a person is drinking that much, again, the liver can only break down or metabolize 1 drink per hour. Okay, when I say 1 drink, it's either a shot, 1.5 ounce shot glass, or it's a 12-ounce beer, or it's a 5-ounce glass of wine. That is 1 beverage. Okay, you can watch that video from the doctors on your own. Okay, risks of binge drinking. So there's a lot of different risks to binge drinking besides just these. Death due to falls, drowning, or drunk driving. If somebody is drunk and they're, maybe they fall down the stairs, or if it's icy and they're outside, they fall, or they're doing some other crazy things that they think they should do while drinking, like swimming, they can end up drowning, especially in the springtime. The water's still really cold, and someone thinks it's funny to go swimming while they're drinking, and it can cause their muscles to just seize up, even if they're great swimmers, and they can end up drowning. And of course, drunk driving. Never get in a car with somebody who's drinking and driving. You should never, ever be drinking and driving. So pregnancy or contraction of STDs, of course. So if somebody's drinking, it's going to loosen the inhibitions, which of course means that a person may end up engaging in sexual behavior with someone that they didn't want to. And that can put them at risk of not only STDs, but of pregnancy. Also, being a victim of violent behavior. So if somebody is at a party and they either were slipped something in their drink or they drank too much, a person could take advantage of them, and they could be sexually assaulted, or even wander off and do something that they normally wouldn't do, and get really hurt. Or of course, the last one, death from alcohol poisoning, because the body can only metabolize or break down 1 drink per hour. Okay, fetal alcohol syndrome, FAS. If a mother is pregnant and drinks any type of alcohol, they're at risk of fetal alcohol syndrome. And some possible effects of this: smaller body size. So that means the baby can also be born premature, lower birth weight, heart problems, because if they are born early, they may have their lungs are not developed properly as well, and their heart isn't fully developed. Kidney problems, learning disabilities, and of course, a form of mental retardation. Okay, ways to stay alcohol-free. Avoid situations where alcohol is present, of course. If you go to a party or you go to a certain friend's house that they are known to have alcohol, then you're putting yourself at risk. You just are. Choose friends who are alcohol-free. That's obvious. Use refusal skills. Practice our STOP strategy, STOP. Say no in a firm voice. T, tell why not. O, offer another idea. And then P, promptly leave. If the pressure continues, walk away. Get out of the situation. Don't hang out. If you're an athlete and you're caught at a party drinking, you will be suspended from activity, or you could even be kicked off of the team. Get help from a trusted adult if you think you need to. If you feel like somebody who's drinking way too much, or just putting themselves at risk, always ask for help. Don't feel like you have to do it by yourself. Okay, this is so important. And it says, write these down on the back of your note page. I would just write these down anywhere, okay? This is the most important slide. I mean, all of them are important, but this is so important. So you shouldn't be going to a party. However, if you do, never put your cup down and leave it unattended. First of all, somebody can end up putting something in it. I'm not a big fan of sharing any cups with anybody who drinks, because you can get sick, and mono and the stomach bug and the flu, and now of course we don't want to share because of the coronavirus. But you never know too. Somebody could have been chewing tobacco and spit in a cup, and it's just laying there. So you don't want to leave it and then come back and drink it. Okay, I'm talking about if it's even soda. If a friend is clearly intoxicated, that means drunk, get them home immediately. Get them home, get them into a safe place. Don't leave them because, again, if you leave them, they can end up choking on their vomit. And it's called aspirating on their vomit, and they can end up dying. So the best thing, of course, is to let their parent know that they are clearly intoxicated, because they could, really take a turn for the worse. If you think they're okay, you put them on their stomach, it still can turn out where they may end up, throwing up after you left, and they can choke on their vomit and die. Never leave a friend alone anywhere. Don't say, oh my gosh, my friend is such a hassle, I'm just leaving them upstairs in some random room, or, I just don't want to deal with this, because then your friend is at risk of getting sexually assaulted, or even things stolen from them. And then never get in a car with a drunk driver. Okay, I say this over and over and over again. Never do that, and never drink and drive. All right, so how do I know if I have a drinking problem? So inability to control that drinking, I think it's, where if a person has one drink and then they can't stop, they feel like they need to have multiple drinks, use alcohol to escape problems. They may self-medicate. Oh, I'm so stressed, I need to have some alcohol. Or, oh, I'm so mad, I need some alcohol. This is a form of like self-medicating. Maybe a person is very sad and depressed and they don't know why they feel that way, or anxious, and they end up thinking that this alcohol is helping them. Change from reserved character to the life of the party. So they're known as a very quiet and shy person, maybe at school, and then they've gone to a party and they've gotten drunk and maybe gotten this positive attention, I guess. And it definitely can cause a person to feel like, oh, that's cool, I'm going to keep doing that, because if it's this positive feedback they're getting from somebody, they're going to tend to want to continue that behavior. Change in personality, definitely change in friends, change in personality. A person, they're looking to go somewhere that's always has alcohol. They can't do anything now that's just without alcohol. They develop a high tolerance. Maybe it took them 2 alcoholic beverages to feel that buzz or get drunk, and then now it takes them a little bit longer. Blackouts. So a person is basically still moving and talking, but they don't know what's going on. They don't remember what's going on. And then problems at school due to drinking, not coming to school, sleeping in classes, maybe coming to school sick, which is the hangover, not doing work, okay, getting mad at friends, changing friends groups, quitting sports. That's a big thing. Volleyball was your, the friend's life, and all of a sudden your friend just stops doing volleyball. That's a big sign. All right. If you suspect a friend has a drinking problem, don't be judgmental or preachy. Don't say, oh, come on, you're so stupid for doing that, because then they're going to hide it from you even more. Listen to them. Listen, maybe they are trying to reach out and say, hey, I do need help, or I'm dealing with this and I don't know how to help myself, so I feel like drinking is the only way. And of course it's not. Voice your concern, but do not when they are under the influence. If you've ever seen someone under the influence of alcohol or talk to them, they're not going to remember it, and they may get violent. And talking to someone when they are violent and trying to convince them of something is not going to work. Go to an AA meeting with a friend or get them some educational material. So AA meeting, Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and they're free, open to the public, most of them. And any age group can go and attend, and it's anonymous too. That's where the AA part, Alcoholics Anonymous. All right, and then where can you get more help? Of course, if you yourself or somebody you feel like you can't do this by yourself, because really there are young kids who are alcoholics. So a parent or guardian is the best, of course, to talk to. If you feel like you can't talk to them, you don't feel like it's comfortable, I always say them first. But guidance, they're here right now. You can talk to them, you can email them, the social worker, Ms. Cummings, or if you talk to somebody outside of school, a psychiatrist or a psychologist, anybody outside of school, you can call a hotline, I have a bunch of hotline numbers around the room, and I could put that up as well on online. You can find some too. Al-Anon. This is for, say, for example, if it's a family member who is dealing with alcohol, you can go to this meeting. It's for the family and talking to other people who have the same problem. And then Alateen, so other teens who are dealing with the same issue. Okay, so that is the slideshow. And I'll just click off of here. So I'm now, okay. So that is the slideshow. So just go through that again if you want to. But it is really important, and I do want to stress the whole thing, especially if somebody is drunk at a party and one of your friends, and never leave them. They may argue and say, just, I'm going with so-and-so, or I'm gonna stay if you go. No, if you're with that person, don't let them out of your sight. Don't let them go with some random people, because you don't know what's going to happen to them. And this is why I say all the time, talk to your parents or guardians and say, if it's 2, 3 in the morning, could you pick me up if I'm in a situation that I don't feel comfortable, that your gut feeling is saying, no, this is not okay, this is not good, I'm not feeling it. You can call them anytime. And I know all your parents would say, yes, call me. Yeah, you'll probably be grounded, you'll have no phone, whatever, but at least they will know, we will all know that you make it home safe and that you will be safe. And if your friend is giving you a problem and will not leave, call their parents, and maybe you even have to call the police. And that's what happens. But just understand that going to a party where there's underage drinking can not only just put you at risk, but it puts that house, whoever owns that house and that family, those parents, at risk of getting arrested. Because it doesn't matter who's brought the alcohol in, those parents are going to be responsible, especially if someone leaves that party, is drinking and driving, and ends up killing themselves, killing someone else, hurting someone else, getting, a DWI. That's going to come back to those parents. So think about that if you're ever thinking about having a party at your house. That is definitely should be a no-no. All right, well, if there's any questions, type the questions in the comments as well if you have any questions, but we'll talk about it next week. We'll kind of review this stuff next week, and I'll go through the ticket out answers and the assessment or the Google form questions in the beginning. How you doing? What are you doing? And then also too, I have the video I'll send. I will also put on there of myself and my daughter's using the Fatal Vision goggles, and then another meditation video to hopefully help you during this time of feeling trapped and sometimes get frustrated. But hope to see you guys soon, and take care, stay healthy, and of course, stay at home.